Thanks for staying with us here on Breakfast Central. Right before we switch to Abuja, let's tell you that Boko Haram insurgents have continued to destroy lives and properties. Last week, killing residents, torching homes and forcing over 5,000 people to flee into Cameroon, especially looking at areas like in Borno State particularly. Well, the attacks come after the withdrawal of the Cameroonian troops and lapse in Nigerian military presence. Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State strongly condemned the Boko Haram attack on the Kirawa community of Gwoza local government area of Borno State, appealing to the military authority to deploy more troops to safeguard the community. Now, what does this attack mean for border communities across Nigeria? I have here live with me in the studios principal partner at Monarchy and Associates Consulting, Mr. Akinkunmi Vaughan-Thomas joins me here. Good morning. Akinkunmi, I beg your pardon. All right. Thanks for joining me. Yeah. Right before we look into other security matters, we've seen a resurgence all of a sudden. Boko Haram coming back stronger and basically focusing on border communities. What does this portend, especially for Nigeria's military architecture?
Well, for the military architecture, there is a picture practically a veteran and ex-veteran like me can break down for you. If you send a set of persons from their place of assignment to a new community, the conspiracy in that community as it takes to them knowing those that are bringing about insecurity. Can the people talk? If I'm a policeman or a military person, I'm sent into a place and I've come to secure you that are there. And you know these people. If there's a conspiracy why the people that are sent to be secured cannot communicate that this is the person you're looking for, this is the person you're looking for, you have put these veterans or these security officers in danger, in the sense that while they are looking around to try to help you to secure the place, even people that are living there can still be giving each other information as against a new person that has come to help. I don't know if you get that picture. So the insecurity is about an internal conspiracy that nobody can explain.
So currently,
yes,
if we're talking about it being an internal conspiracy,
yes,
then how do we break that chain?
Good. To break that chain, you need to identify that each community grassroots leaders need to be held to responsibility. No stranger comes into a place and dwells in that place to effect insecurity. It is not possible. It's not possible.
So what work is cut out for the Nigerian military? Because there are videos where the governor of Borno State, also spoke to News Central, and he said that the military did not heed to his warnings, that they need to ensure that they are deployed and they stay along the border lines. Okay. That the moment they live there, which is what actually happened, the moment they vacated the space, you saw an attack from Boko Haram. Now, does this mean that more military personnel need to be deployed within that space?
No, did you hear me? I said, because if you hear what the Borno governor said,
yes,
he was giving them an information that they need to adhere with. It is deeper than the surface of you and I sitting and talking formally about it. The internal insecurity is deep. So rather than talking about our security architecture, let's talk about the insecurity, well-placed architecture. That's where we are. So when we sit and wait for something formal to happen, there are negotiations that are deeper than the surface that needs to take place.
So who's supposed to carry out these negotiations, as you said?
Joe, you want to put words into my mouth. Now, the true thing is this.
Yeah.
Insecurity is business. Hear me, sir. Insecurity is business. It's business. And rather than somebody that has come to bring about harm, into your place, they are more afraid than you that they are coming to meet. So there must be help from inside. How it can be addressed, I can tell you every government of every state understands what is happening. It's not arguable. And the people cannot voice out because they are still within. So the internal conspiracy is still what I'm emphasizing. Because if I come here and I talk to you about community policing, I talk to you about economic empowerment, it cannot go beyond the leadership of that place. But I'm saying what we need to look into is, can the community talk to themselves enough to agree that, look, let's say what we are facing. The casualties are not the problem. The leadership needs to help us. And that's what I'm calling on. The leadership needs to help us. If you are listening to the news of what is being broadcasted from the leadership, you are still not speaking with the leadership. So if we have negotiators that need to go in and they need to talk about, look, what is happening between you people here? And they open up to you, then you know that there is nothing happening without leadership, and it is business, and it has to do with internal conspiracy. I don't know if
I get your point, even though it's a bit shrouded in I'll use the word in wrapped nylon. Let me use that word. So, but let's try and tear it out a little bit more.
Okay.
The governor has said, listen, the military needs to do more. We've highlighted here in this conversation that it's an internal conspiracy, a challenge that needs to be sorted out by leaders of possibly these communities. Okay. But the people are being harmed every now and then. Boko Haram itself is saying that, listen, we're coming back to do what we need to do. Yeah. And there's a big question everyone is asking amongst all the top 5 questions, which I'd like to put them in 5. Okay. The number one simply is, what do they really want?
What do the
Boko Haram, what do they want? Is it a case of genocide? Like many have said, it's a genocidal attack. They just want to wipe out a particular community, or it's a case of, you know what, they just want to claim territory and say this is our territory, like we saw in another northern state where the insurgents said, listen, we own this space, we need this, we need that. If you attack our people, we would attack back. We're going to release some of your prisoners. So is it what we're seeing now? And is this the norm?
Even if you say what is the catch for the terrorists or insurgents that we're talking about, and the state itself, if you say it is just land, the mineral resources, there is something very fishy in all these places. Something is going on internally, and it has to do with money. It has to do with business. Ignore the casualties. Not that you should not care about them. They are not the issue. The issue is the leadership, the conspiracy going on, and the business that is attached to it. Every place where we have insecurity right now in Nigeria, check the material capital of that place.
So Kwara State, what's that?
Well,
I know every state has
Kwara State is a gate.
Resources.
Kwara State is a gate.
It's a gate leading to...
It's a gate within.
Okay.
That whatever is coming from, where it is coming from, if we pass through here, we can spread to the next place. That whatever is mineral resources in this place too, we can get it. Ilori, Kwara State is just a gate.
So what is the governor doing about that? And what do you think security operatives should do now? Because it's starting to really heat up in Kwara State.
To cross over, immediately after Kwara, what do we have there?
Ogbomoso, what's this other state? Yeah. But my point is, what should be done now that Kwara State is also being attacked? Okay. So there's Middle Belt. Middle Belt is fighting its own challenges. The Southwest is starting to look like it's about to welcome a new plight of insecurity.
2 things. Policing and community policing need to change. Policing comes from the place where we need to come to the international standards of policing that is strengthened by the executive, the legislature, the judiciary, enough for them to be effective. What is the standard of what it means to be a police person? Community policing is the trust the community will have to have in that police to exchange information and come to understand one another. Now, these two things cannot take effect within the culture that is happening in every place where insecurity is happening, which means the leadership will have a touch on it. So I will advise very directly that citizens need to stop assuming things are going on well. And they should look for a means of advocacy and internal solutions on every immediate place where they are. For example, if I stay in an estate, in this estate, do we agree as it concerns security? What are the policing arrangements we can put in place that will secure us? That independent security approach that everybody needs to put up is very important, rather than keep waiting that security will come from outside. We need to begin to voice out. The open advocacy has to be clear that we don't understand what is happening and we need help. But at the same time, what are you doing in your immediate environment to ensure you are secured? Because we have to start from inside out now, very practically.
So are we in any way trying to also highlight the need for JTFs to be created in different communities? Because in the southeast, we've seen some of them, Bubagu and the likes, and in some parts of the southwest as well, we've seen some of them being created. Is it going to look like that's what would happen in each and every state? And doesn't that show in a way that there's failure, systemic failure in Nigeria's security architecture?
There's failure. Security has to do with apprehension. It is all over the place already. I don't feel safe traveling. And wherever you stay, you know anything can happen anytime, and you know you don't even have anybody to call on. Advocacy is a very big voice, and it has to start with our self and minimal groups, and we need to sit up for ourselves to say that we are not secured. The way you go to the office and come back daily and assume your security will continue, you lie to yourself. We need to begin to agree and we say, look, let me start from my home, let me start from my estate, what can we do? Now, when you brought about this JTF thing, what came to my mind immediately is, are we saying we should start small group vigilantes around our estates? It won't work because it will break out beyond what you can expect. It will break out. We need the help of the leadership. I call on something here. When we're moving towards another election and whatever we need to do, I expect not only the educated, I expect people to begin to envisage not only of the ruling party. These things are very clear. These things are very clear. And the people that can break the hold a group of persons has over them is the people themselves. The persons that can break it is just we, the masses, or we, the people that elect them and put them in place. What are the initiatives we're already putting in place for our security? But for every day where you sit down, you point to the government, you point to the police and the military, and you expect from them. It's a clique of persons that the administration is not as civil as you imagine. The administration is not as civil as you imagine. If a governor will tell you, that you are coming to guard my state, stay within this borderline, and it will work. And the moment you move out of it, it fails, and you enter into trouble. It makes you to understand that there is a lot of communal agreements that has to come to place, even with the people that are coming to secure, the people that own the state. There is a lot of truth saying we need to do, and a lot of advocacy from the masses. The advocacy from the masses is starting in two ways. Number one, we are not secured. Stop keeping quiet. Number two is taking steps yourself within, from your home to your estate.
So are we suggesting that every single Nigerian like myself, I mean, first of all, that statement alone, we're not secured, can bring shocks down the spine of every single Nigerian.
But it is clear, we're not just saying it.
But it is true.
We're not just saying it.
You're right, whether we like it or not, because everyone is, I mean, we've seen what happened. Those who are traveling from the Lagos or roads, a lot of things are starting to happen. But that's one. Retired generals have come out to state that there should be a state of emergency on Nigeria's insecurity. That many have said that the government is kind of like handling it with kids' gloves while focusing so much on politicking. We've addressed that here many times. Even yesterday, we touched on this. The Punch newspaper of yesterday also highlighted that.
I hope they are.
What's your take?
I hope they are bold enough to be consistent in their speaking. Because regardless of how they speak, if steps are not taken by those in leadership right now, nothing can be done. So for them being generals, they already have the personalities or profiles of people that can speak without fear. We hope on them that they are able to stand up and keep speaking, because they know more than you can imagine. But if we have any sets of them on the right side saying this is what it is and this is what we need to do. Permit me to mention Babagana Zulum briefly. Regardless of all the politicking and all the errors, and he has this voice of insight. He knows this country, and he can, permit me to use the word bully, with the voice of a general that knows how to pull a voice. So I'm also saying that these generals that are coming out and going back inside, we need them to stay out and consistent, advocating that this insecurity, like you said, needs to be dealt with now. Politics should see a lot of advanced, positive conflict, not the rugged one of fighting. But when the next election is coming up, I will expect a lot of people to have learned a lot of lessons in what we are going through. Because if it has not gotten to your side, it is coming if you don't speak up and take steps now.
This, in a way, kind of like sounds fearful to a few Nigerians who may be wondering if there's any hope in sight. And highlighting what you've said here as well, that a lot needs to be done. Personally, do you think that this government has the power, the wherewithal to handle the insecurity challenges we're being faced with?
I like the way you said government, and you didn't refer only to the president or the government. No,
the government, both subnational.
This team. Maybe I should just use my voice to say that if they can just permit to help us and let business wait for some time. I'm using language that people can understand. Business can stop for a time. Let's work on security, because they like it or not, it will come to them too, sir. Yes. Because when people are frustrated, they defend themselves carelessly. And there is no person in government today that will not need the air, the land, or sea.
Absolutely.
And as long as you can pass through those places, frustrated people have a way of reacting. Their reaction might not be constructive, but at the end of the day, everything falls apart. So I challenge and ask that business should stop. Let's work on this security, because everybody will have to suffer it. But for your business to continue, why not make some things to be in place so that business can continue later? I hope I'm communicating.
I get your point. In other words, I'd say that you're also agreeing with the words that it's high time we face security headlong.
Yeah.
And put a pause to every other thing, that whether it's politicking, whether it's elections, whether it's about, let's do more infrastructure.
Yes. Or we are a group. We are a group persons. Leave that aside first.
Yeah.
Let's work on this issue. This issue, even if it is business, are we sure we can handle it when it escalates from the level where it is now? Because there is no person in government today that can tell me boldly that he or she feels secure in Nigeria. And you see, if anybody is involved in insecurity, it's a matter of time. It turns against the person too. It does. Because these people are not trained. There is no constructive administrative sense. So they can become rogue anytime. Whatever is holding them now might be money, but when it's not forthcoming, the grip of administration you have over them is lost. So the person that employs the insecurity himself can be insecure.
Okay. All right. As we look to wrap up this conversation, let's look at the other aspects of insecurity which Nigerians are equally talking about. The aspect of state policing. The president has touted with, establishing that. Many leaders from different quarters, be it from business sector, also to the governmental sectors, well, government, have said that, listen, we should actually look into state police, that state police would eventually handle these cases or these cases of insecurity and tackle it headlong. I don't know how true that is, by the way.
It's true with the fallout of disintegration. If community policing or state policing is taken to effect, what it only means that you can keep your border. It's the same thing I'm saying that we should start with ourselves, and you can only keep your borders. But if the borders don't agree, there needs to be a formative administration will put in place that will cause all the borders to agree. Because if I keep Lagos State, somebody keeps Oyo State, the moment we are in disagreement, those two states are in trouble. So there has to be a central agreement, even on the state policing. What is the agreement on it? What is the formal way it is? Which is that, okay, you trust your people know your land, and they will do anything to protect the land. Let there be a central and consistent application to it. It will work, but its fallout is disintegration, which means different states will be at loggerheads with each other, and at least now we're even traveling within some zones. You just notice you can't cross from Lagos to Oyo State because there is a disagreement between Lagos State and Oyo State state policing. Yes, it happens when these disintegrations of state policing comes. It will happen. They won't agree to flow the same way. So the strength of us saying we are all Nigerian, faith. If you see how we work with the armed forces. In the police, they will send a northerner to the south. It's deliberate. It's a security approach. They will send a military Igbo man to the west, to the Yoruba place, so that we can just distribute ourselves in different places. Forgive us that when we want to go for NYSC, we rearrange it. Why they scatter us to is for us to be mixed together. So if we are not mixed together and we want to hold our gates central, disputes is very simple. It comes up anytime and with anything, and it can hold disintegration. So there is the strength of it and there is the disadvantage of it. So I generally recommend that a federal approach, there should be a federal MOU on it, as in let's agree this is what state policing is.
It is. And this is what it's not.
Yes, I think that makes sense. But either way, the disintegration of state policing is dangerous, very dangerous.